Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, welcome. If you've got a note taker in, it would be helpful if you'd go ahead and release it from the room. That would be helpful. Thank you. Okay, great. It's 6:01. We'll go ahead and get started in the interest of time. Thank you. Welcome, everyone, for joining this evening. This is session 3 of our Get Ready workshops in preparation for the Pathways to Prime. If your mic is hot, I'm going to mute you if you can't mute yourself. Thank you so much. Um, but the Pathways to Prime is next Thursday, April 17th at the Harris County Department of Education. Everybody that's on the call should already be registered. As we get started, I'll do a roll call check in the chat. I may send you a note if I can't tell if it's you. If you can rename yourself, that'd be great. But if I see that I don't have you registered, I may send you a little note. So watch your chat. Want to make sure that you get registered. If you happen to be on this call and you did not register, someone shared it with you, take the minute to scan this QR code and get registered before I start checking. This is exclusively for people that have registered for the Harris County Pathways to Prime MWBE Procurement Foreman and Empowerment Workshop. So this is number 3. We're excited to have our special guest on who are actually the blessing that we got to receive the grant to be able to do this for you. We are so grateful that they're on this call leading this last workshop for us. We have Jessica Herrera and Adrian Jackson. I don't know why I want to call you Bolden Jackson. You're Jackson Bolden.
Yes.
But yeah, they're here tonight to present the third workshop. When they're done, feel free throughout the evening. You can drop your questions in the chat. We'll come back and check those. We may do some along the way. And then a little bit later, I will drop a survey in the chat. And please do us a favor and make sure that you complete that. That's important for us to do reporting to the county on the people who attended. We want to also make sure that we gave you information that was helpful. And so with that, I will turn it over to the team from the Department of Economic Equity and Opportunity at Harris County, and you guys take it away.
Thank you, Dorita.
Thanks, Dorita.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. As Dorita mentioned, I am Jessica Herrera. I am the Senior Program Manager of Business Development and Outreach at Harris County's Department of Economic Equity and Opportunity. Our Assistant Director of Strategic, I can't remember what it is.
Stakeholder engagement and strategic programs.
Thank you very much. Adrian Jackson Bolden is also joining us. And I also have with us Director of Purchasing, Jeremy Harris, who will be covering the purchasing component of today's presentation. So just to go over a quick agenda of what we're going to be discussing this evening, I'm going to do a brief overview of the Department of Economic Equity and Opportunity, also known as the DEO. And then I'll hand it over to Jeremy, who will do a overview of purchasing. We'll discuss our bidding portal Bonfire and how to register into Bonfire. We'll take a quick breakdown of the NIGP code website and how you can use it. And then I'll cover the MWBE program and some resources that we have from our department. So the Department of Economic Equity and Opportunity, also known as the DEO, started back in January of 2021 in response to a disparity study that found that 9% of Harris County's dollars were going to minority and women-owned businesses when the market was composed about 28%. So Commissioners Court approved the development of the MWBE program that is housed within our department, and we administer and manage it. Here on the screen, you can see the 4 divisions that compose the DEO. We have our Program Planning and Innovation team. They develop and evaluate programs for equitable county growth. Some of those key programs are Harris Hub, Harris County Opportunity Fund, and there's some other programs, the apprenticeship program that is ongoing that this department manages. The economic development team researches economic development strategies and resources. Inclusive procurement, like I mentioned, oversees Harris County's MWBE, prevailing wages, DBRA, HUD Section 3, and other programs. And then we have early childhood initiatives that provides programs that support families and caregivers of children from birth to age 8. So I will now hand it over to Jeremy.
Good afternoon, everybody. We'll do a quick review of purchasing and then hop into bonfire and NIGP codes to help prepare you for the meeting next week. So the Office of the Harris County Purchasing Agent, our mission statement is to help all the Harris County departments and agencies procure the goods and services they need. We want to do that in a prudent, timely manner. We want to consider quality, value, and economy. Also, we're looking for opportunities for cost savings and economies of scale, and want to focus on broadening and diversifying the vendor base. Next slide. So some key procurement terminology we have is informal procurements. That's all purchases under $50,000 or below. That's usually done through a multiple quote process and led by the end user departments who are seeking those goods or services if they are not already on a county contract. We also have a new informal method that's been used more that's called request for supplier offers. And that actually is the only informal procurement method that you will see advertised and posted on Bonfire. We don't have a lot of those, but more departments are requesting to utilize those. And so it's a great opportunity for informal procurement that is actually advertised for vendors to see and know the opportunity exists, rather than just being contacted by departments seeking quotes. Formal procurements, we have competitive sealed bids, also known as invitations to bid. These formal procurements are the awards based on the lowest and most responsive bid that meets the specifications. We have competitive sealed proposals, formal procurement. So formal procurement is anything $50,000 and above. Competitive sealed proposals are for construction services for facilities, and the awards will be made to the highest ranking vendor. And here in the selection criteria, price is 50% of that evaluation criteria. Also, we have requests for proposals. It's a formal procurement method. The awards will be made to the responsible offerer whose proposal is determined to be the lowest and best evaluated offer, with price and other factors considered. So here you'll have a broad range of evaluation criteria, and that will be posted in the solicitation documents to let you know what you will be scored on and the weight it will be given to help you prepare for that submittal. And lastly, we have requests for qualifications. These are for professional services. So think architects, engineering services, and they're laid out in the Texas Government Code, a complete list of what professional services are. Next slide. So again, this touches on the formal and informal thresholds. So formal is over $50,000, and we advertise these opportunities in the Houston Chronicle, and they are also all posted on our Bonfire procurement portal. So every Friday we update that portal and show the new advertisements, and then every Friday in the Houston Chronicle you'll see new job opportunities advertised there. And informal procurements, they are not advertised, but you can send your capability statements to the purchasing department or any end-using department that you would like to meet. That networking is always helpful to let them know that your company exists and these are the goods and services you can provide. Next slide. And next, we're going to cover Bonfire, and we're going to watch a 10-minute video that is on how to register in Bonfire if you're not already registered. So you'll want to do this if you're interested in doing business with Harris County. We'll start the video here, and then next we'll cover some more details on commodity codes. And that is part of the Bonfire registration process. It'll want you to put in your NIGP commodity codes, and that will make sure that you get notification of procurement opportunities that relate to those codes that help identify the goods and services your business provides. And we'll go ahead and start this tutorial video. Just give us 1 second.
Is it not playing?
No, I don't see it.
Okay, 1 second. Let me stop sharing. Here we go.
Make sure when you reshare, Jessica, you include sound.
Okay.
It's a little bit more commodity codes. We'll cover that on a slide to tell you how to identify their codes. And then after the video, we'll also go to the comptroller's website where we will show you a search feature there and how you can find out what codes best fit your company. Also in Bonfire registration, there's a search feature to identify those. And so it looks like we've got the video ready and we'll get rolling, and we'll be back in a few minutes with you.
Let me just make sure, share sound. Okay, there we go.
Hi there, my name is Tiffany, and I am here to show you an overview of the registration and submission process in Bonfire as a vendor. Before we begin, we should mention the minimum system requirements for using Bonfire. You will want to use a supported browser.
Or we lost sound, Jessica. I apologize. I think if you unmute, we can hear it, but it was a little low. So I was trying to see if that would help with the background noise. But I think that's the only way the sound is coming through is through your mic. So
Okay.
apologies on that.
Sure to use a desktop or non-mobile device. These are in place to ensure a secure and stable end user experience. Let's start on the procurement portal homepage. Every client has their own portal.
Okay, if we can get some feedback in the chat, are you guys able to hear that on my end? I can barely hear it, so we can move on if nobody can hear that. So
I'm gonna try and
every organization should
put the volume up.
An open public opportunities tab. By default, the Open Public Opportunities tab or the Login tab should show first whenever you come to an organization's Bonfire portal. Within the Open Public Opportunities tab, you can click on View Opportunity for any one opportunity to view more information. However, before you can actually download any documentation or make a submission, you need a Bonfire account. You'll want to head over to the Login tab. Or up in the right-hand corner, we have a login/register button. As you can see, existing users can log in with their email and password, and if they do require a password reset, they can use the Forgot Your Password feature.
I think we'll just scrap the video tonight and we'll move on to the NIGP code slide and spend our time on the comptroller's website. So we'll send out a link to this video. You guys can watch it. It's 10 minutes of how to register in Bonfire, which is really important. And there's also a user guide we can send out that helps step by step on how to register in Bonfire. Again, this is so important. That's one of the main takeaways is if you're interested in doing business with Harris County, make sure you register in our Bonfire portal, which the links are seen there. And So you also can hit the QR code there and get a link as well. And the tutorial video you can watch anytime you would like. And there's also a second part of that video that shows you how to submit a bid or RFP into the system. One disclaimer I want to let you know is when you watch the video, they do mention Canada and Canadian provinces because the company is based in Canada. But again, you just pick your region here in the United States and Houston area when it comes to that section. So it's important because you'll receive notifications of procurement opportunities. And next, we'll go to the next slide and look at a breakdown of NIGP codes. I think a lot of you may also recognize the term NACE codes. NIGP codes are what we utilize in Bonfire. And so when you register, you'll need to use the NIGP codes. And so a little breakdown on the NIGP code. So the first 3 digits are the class code, and the example here is office supplies. So at that level, it includes all office supplies. And then at the 5-digit level is the class item code. And so that takes you down to pins as the class item code. And it goes further down to 7 and 11 digits as well. But in Bonfire, you will only need to register at the 5-digit level. And so we'll go ahead and click the link to the comptroller's website and kind of show you some options here on how you search and identify what codes best fit your company. And so right there at the top, you can see you'll type in keywords or class codes to search. You could type in mowing as an example, and it will pull up anything with mowing. You could also do office supplies, and it will show you several options. You know, just anything you can think of, you can search in here and find the best codes for you. So what we like to recommend is that everybody be broad in the codes you enter in Bonfire, so you make sure you get the notifications you want. Also, as a backup measure, every Friday you can check Bonfire's account on your own and look at the public portal and see all those advertised opportunities. It'll be under current opportunities. So, and also you can always edit your NIGP codes after you create your Bonfire account. You can add and take away as needed. And it's also important to note that whatever codes you pick does not restrict what solicitations you can submit for. So the codes in the system only help us identify who to send an email notice to, but anybody can still submit for any bid if that fits for your business. And so I think that is all I have for our section, unless maybe there's 1 or 2 more slides.
No, that is all. Let me go
All
back
right.
to share the presentation. Thank you, Jeremy.
All right. Thank you for going back and forth, Jessica.
No worries. Apologies for the video, but we'll be sending that to you when we send out the presentation. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the MWBE program. So like I mentioned, the Inclusive Procurement Division manages the MWBE program. More specifically, is our vendor diversity team. They serve as the connecting link for minority and women-owned businesses with Harris County and the contracting opportunities that we have available, as well as capacity building programs created for business growth and development. The main objectives of our program is to help remove the barriers in the participation of MWBEs in county contracts, also to ensure non-discrimination when these contracts are being awarded, and we focus on creating a level playing field for minority and women-owned businesses to compete fairly. And we do this by assigning MWBE utilization goals to contracts that are formal, which are over $50,000, to provide opportunities to certified companies. So what are goals? An MWB contract goal means that the goal for participation of MWBEs on a specific solicitation. So any contract, agreement, or undertaking, either for construction or for the supply of goods and services of 50,000 and up, will be reviewed for a contract specific goal. The goals are based on the number of certified MWBEs that are available to perform the work of the project. So we can talk a little bit more about that here. So when we talk about how the availability of MWBEs is determined, we focus on having at least 3 certified MBEs or WBEs that are able to perform the contract scope of work. We look at the dollar value, the duration, and the complexity of the project, and we look at Harris County's past usage of MWBEs as relevant factors to determine the availability of MWBEs for projects. So to be considered an MWBE for Harris County, you have to have these 2 requests or these 2 requirements more likely. So the first one is to be certified. These are on the screen, you can see the agencies that we accept certifications from. You don't have to have all of them. You just have to be certified with one of the ones listed. So City of Houston, the National Minority Supplier Development Council, the Women's Business Enterprise National Council, and their local chapters. We also accept the DBE from the Texas Unified Certification Program, the Hub certification from the State of Texas Comptroller's Office, and the 8A certification from the U.S. Small Business Administration's Office. So the first requirement is to be certified with one of these agencies, and the second requirement is to be able to establish significant local presence. Now, what that means is either your firm is located in Harris County's market area, and the market area is composed of Harris, Fort Bend, Brazoria, Montgomery, and Galveston County. And if your firm is not located in the market area, but it has performed at least 3 contracts or 3 subcontracts in the market area, then you can establish significant local presence. So then it's to be certified with one of these certifications from the agencies we accept and the ability to establish significant local presence. So a lot of people ask, what are the benefits of having a certification and how you can leverage it? So contracts with set project goals, prime contractors are always looking for certified MWBE to meet the requirements for those solicitations. So subcontracting opportunities are always going to be available for certified businesses. So access to government contracts, you can leverage your certification status to increase subcontracting opportunities, networking and partnering opportunities. So attending pre-bid meetings and networking with prime contractors is a good way to leverage your certification. Eligibility for grants and funding. Being certified increases access to grants specifically for MWBE businesses. And lastly, increased visibility. So listing in MWBE business directories for potential clients and partnerships is a good way to leverage your certification. So before I move on to our resource section of other programs that the DEO offers, I do want to talk about the key takeaways of this presentation, the top things that you should remember leaving here today. First one, register in Bonfire. Like Jeremy mentioned, we will be forwarding our step-by-step guide on how to register into Bonfire to all the attendees. We also recommend visiting the website and taking a look at that video that will show you step-by-step guide, but that is the best way to stay in the know of all the Harris County open opportunities and available opportunities. So the formal contracts is everything that is over 50,000, and that is what will be published in our bidding portal. The informal contracts is everything under 50,000, and currently they are not being published online. The number 3 takeaway, you don't have to be certified to do business with Harris County. I will repeat, you do not have to be certified to do business with Harris County. The previous slide did mention the ways being certified can benefit you and how you can leverage your certification, but it is not a requirement if you want to bid on a contract to be certified. Now, if you bid on a contract that has a MWB utilization goal attached to it and you are certified, the benefit is that your certification will cover that percentage and you wouldn't have to subcontract. Now, the difference is that if you aren't certified, then you would just have to subcontract that percentage to meet the utilization goal attached to the contract. And then lastly, the DEO is not a certifying agency. We do not certify businesses, which is why we partner with the City of Houston and the State Comptroller's Office and all the agencies that we accept. So if you are certified with them, you are eligible and considered an MWBE for us. A few resources that we offer. So the Inclusive Procurement team has these offerings currently. We have the Pathways to Prime grant, which is the how we're working with the Peer Foundation and the event that's coming up on April 17th. This is a grant that provides targeted technical assistance training and support aimed to creating and enhancing the MWBE businesses. One of our awardees was the Peer Foundation, and they will be hosting the event on April 17th that I'm sure everyone's registered for. And for all of you that are going to that event, this presentation will be much more extensive the day of. So we're going to get more into the nitty gritty of the procurement process on April 17th. Another program that we offer or that we here at Inclusive Procurement work on is our Business Opportunity Weekly, which is a document that is posted every week on our LinkedIn page. It includes all the open opportunities and the attached MWBE goals or assigned goals to those opportunities, the ones that have them. We also do educational workshops, different capacity building programs, and informative sessions such as this around the county. Our Department of Program Planning and Innovation, like I mentioned at the beginning, has these several offerings, several programs. They got the Apprenticeship Advantage program, which helps Harris County residents gain knowledge, skills, and on-the-job training opportunities. Higher Up Harris, it helps Harris County residents gain professional development knowledge. And then we have our Harris Hub program that's for small businesses, targeted technical assistance and training through our partner organizations. If you complete 30 hours of technical assistance in this program, you're eligible for a $5,000 grant, depending on availability for funding. But the program is providing technical assistance to small businesses specifically. And then lastly, we have our Harris County Opportunity Fund. This fund will provide loans ranging from $5,000 to $250,000 for eligible small businesses through an equitable underwriting process, ensuring MWBEs improve their access to capital. This is done through our partners at People Fund. So those are all my ads for today. Thank you so much for the presentation. We can go ahead and start with the Q&A portion of today.
There's one question in the chat that says, do you have set aside for small business subcontractors?
Yeah, so we don't actually do set aside. So our goals are the participation goals. So vendors do have to provide, if they are unable to meet the goal, so if they don't subcontract with the minority or woman-owned business at the set percentage on the contract, they do have to justify that in their utilization plan. So they have to show proof as to why they were unable to subcontract with a minority or woman-owned businesses. But it is not a set aside. It is a goal, a participation goal that we set on those projects.
Is the Harris County Community Fund only a loan, or can it be a line of credit?
I believe it's a
A
loan.
loan, yeah, it's a loan. Any tips for what to bring next week other than pen, paper, and possibly our capability statement? For sure, your capability statement. I want to say we went over that last week, right, Dorita? Do you have that information from last week that they covered on the Get Ready on what to bring?
No, you're on mute.
We may have only shared the recording to all the attendees. I'll talk with Goodwill about just sending that out to everyone.
Body.
It was how to prepare, how to plan your plan of action to get around to meet and talk to people as well. When someone asked the question about how do you get access to a prime contractor, well, one, come to this event. There are a lot of them signed up.
Yes.
There will be some that actually have tables in our exhibitor space.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and last week, one of the tips that Goodwill provided was to, maybe target a few, at first
Mm-hmm.
to walk the room, see who's there first. Also, not to spend an inordinate amount of time with someone
Mm-hmm.
because other people are also trying to meet them as well.
Mm-hmm.
But to get their contact information, to follow up. So there
Mm-hmm.
were a lot of tips in that prior recording. And I will ask him to send that out to everyone that registered for the event so that you can look at that in advance. You may want to bring your computer as
Mm-hmm.
well,
Mm-hmm.
in case there's some things that you want to do there. And we did have a space, I believe we might be at capacity, but if you have most of what you need in place in order to work on your certification, we do have some limited appointments, I believe up to 30, with the City of Houston Office of Business Opportunity, where you can set an appointment to sit with them and just walk through the uploading of your documents. So you need your computer because they can't put your items on their computers. And to be able to upload that into the system and ask questions. So you want to be pretty knowledgeable about the certification process before taking one of those appointments. They will have a workshop where they'll talk generically about that high level. If you've never heard of it, if you haven't started it, you want to go to the workshop. If you've
Mm-hmm.
actually started it or have your documents in place, then you want to register to try to get one of those appointments that day. And you
Mm-hmm.
pretty much could leave with most of your documents uploaded in the system or all of your questions answered so that you can go home and complete that process pretty quickly.
I will also be sending you, Dorita, a copy of this presentation. So if you heard anything that might be of interest from the resources at the end of the slides, I have links for everything, and it'll also you could be able to access the video and everything that we showed you today. So yeah, everyone that registered for this will be getting this presentation.
Yeah, if you're
Uh,
already certified as a WBE or MBE or DBE, you don't necessarily need to get another certification. For us, for Harris County, and for most government agencies, you only need to have one certification that they recognize in order to qualify for their program.
I was also thinking, Jessica, can you queue up? Maybe we could try the video one more time because it's kind of early if there aren't many questions, and then if anyone wants to drop off, but otherwise, if they want to
Sure.
hang out and maybe look at it. Let's see here. Is there
Um,
a cost for the City of Houston certification? No, there's not.
no.
Mm-mm.
Can
But
you?
what we will tell you is we will send out a list of the names of, we have a lot of
Oh no.